Hey everyone, this is Bales. I'm at FantasyLabs looking at NFL player models, and I wanted to create a quick video showing you how to create your own model. So models is made up of sliders here on the left side, which are different stats and metrics that we have, and we give you the ability to weight those however you'd like. So you have 100 points to spend, and you can move those sliders, spend those 100 points however you'd like, click update, and we backtest the model immediately. So we backtest it by looking at a stat that we call plus minus, which is the points above or below expectation that the top 5% of players in that model would have scored in the past. And the expectation comes from salaries. So you can see Cam Newton's salary here, for example, $7,500 on DraftKings, means that he's implied to score 19.7 points based on how DraftKings has historically priced quarterbacks and how they've actually performed. You can see that Tom Brady, just below him, $100 more or $100 less, is projected to score 0.23 points less than that. So based on that expectation, if Cam Newton scores 20.7 points, that would be a plus minus of 1 for the game. And if he scores 18.7, that would be a plus minus of -1 for the game. So based on how I've moved these sliders around, which is somewhat arbitrary, quarterbacks in this model, the top 5% would have scored 2.47 points above what you'd expect based on their salary. So that's okay, but we can make a better one just by messing around and probably looking at factors that are perhaps a little bit more predictive of success. So you can toy around with this to figure it out yourself. You can also look at pro models, but we can weight these things however you'd like. Click update, and you can see we got a much larger plus minus, so 5.9 points above expectation in this particular model, which is very good. You can see Cam Newton is up still. Tom Brady went down a little bit. You can also click on the plus minus box here, and you can see how players in different buckets have scored. So this is how the top X% have scored in this model historically. So once you have a model that you like, which generally be the higher plus minus, but not always, you'll have player ratings over here, and you can build a lineup. So you can either optimize a lineup, which will give you the pure mathematical best lineup based on your particular model at each position, or you can build a lineup, which is what I recommend, and you can build a lineup just by locking in players here. So we lock in Cam, and we would go to the running back position and lock in those players and build the lineup just like you might do on one of the daily fantasy sites. You can then save the lineups when you're done, and they'll go to the My Lineups page, and then you can export them directly to the daily fantasy sites. But I'll have another tutorial on building lineups, and we also have a stacking feature and a multi-lineup tool that allows you to create a whole bunch of lineups at once, and all of this is based off of your model. Another really cool thing is that you can see all of the data that we have here, projections, different trends, matchup data, Vegas, advanced stats. We have a whole bunch of new advanced metrics this year. So you can see, for example, that Cam Newton over his prior 12 months through to the running back only 12.8% of the time. Red zone data, fantasy specific data, all of this stuff that can change, updates in real time. So if there is a big bet in Vegas and the Panthers implied total jumps from 27 to 28 points, that will update in here automatically. Or if there's a change in weather or anything like that, betting trends, the spread, who's a favorite and who's a dog, things like that, it'll update, and then your model will update automatically, and then ultimately your optimal lineup will also update because of that. So you can look at different slates here. So you can, if you're playing the afternoon slate, you can look at that. You can also filter down players by looking at specific teams if you'd like. So if you want to only look at certain types of games that interest you, if you're looking for high scoring games or teams, you can do that and look solely at those players to narrow down your view. And so if you'd like to, you if you'd like to build your own model, you can click add and name the model. We'll do sample model, and you'll then be able to rate things how you'd like. A default order here of the sliders will come up. Again, I suggest that you play around and create your own model, but when you update that model, the ratings over here will change. So if we weight the defensive quality less and do say rushing percentage more, you'll see Tyrod, who's already very high, runs the ball a lot, should, depending on his matchup, actually increase. So he's at 92.44 and he did to 93. And you can see the plus minus, the quality of that particular model change. And then ultimately, everything you do is based off of these models. So whether you optimize, build multiple lineups, or build lineups yourself by locking in players into the optimal area over here, everything is based off of what you think is important, that you can immediately backtest to know if what you're doing will lead to value on the daily fantasy sites.